All right, so now we're gonna do the update and delete function for the events. It would be nice if the user had the option to edit or delete the events, but we only want the owner of the events to be able to delete these events. We don't want other users to be able to edit or delete these events. All right, so to do this, let's go back to the project and we're gonna go ahead and go to the events page. And here we want maybe two icons. Maybe we want an icon to delete and an icon to edit. So let's go ahead and just add in this icon. So let's look here for icon. I'm gonna just drag, but before adding an icon, let's add in a row maybe, because this row will contain our two icons. So a row here, we're going to, let's move this to the left. I'm gonna select this row and I'm gonna align the children of this row like this with a space between, okay? And now I'm gonna look for an icon and I'm gonna just move an icon inside this row. And now you can see that I have this icon selected. Let's click here to select the row that's containing this icon. And I'm gonna add in another icon here, adding maybe some padding between these icons. So I'm gonna add in a little bit of padding to the right of this icon, 4 pixels like this. And now I'm gonna change the icons. So this icon maybe for a delete icon. So let's look for the delete icon. And this icon over here, I'm gonna change it for an edit icon. I'm gonna choose this one over here. All right, so this is looking good. Now the only thing is that we only want this row. We only want the row containing these widgets to be visible to the user, to the owner of this event. So how are we gonna do this? Well, we're gonna specify a condition. We're gonna use the conditional visibility again. Okay. So let's go to the properties and under visibility, toggle on conditional, and we're gonna set this condition a single condition. Okay, we're gonna set a single condition to show those widgets. Okay, those icons. So the first value of this condition is if the events document, and what are we gonna check? We're gonna check if the created by field, because the created by field of the event has a reference to the owner, right? It's a reference to the owner of the event it's a reference of the user who created the event. So it's if the events document created by field is equal to what? Equal to the authenticated user reference, right? We're gonna check against the authenticated user reference. Now click confirm. We're checking if the created by is equal to the user record reference. Click confirm. And if this condition is true, then we want to show this, because that means that the user, the owner of this event, is actually seeing this event and can also edit and delete the event. Okay, so now let's go ahead and set the delete action. It's gonna be very simple because it's just gonna be a delete document action. So let's add an action to this icon. Delete, and let's go down to the delete document. And what are we gonna delete? We're gonna delete the reference of this event document. So we're gonna go under events document and let's look for the reference. And we're gonna click confirm. So I'm gonna delete the reference, and once we delete the reference, this is gonna disappear. Okay, the whole thing. And now for this, we want to actually create a new page that is gonna be called update event. This update event page is gonna be very similar to the create event. Okay, it's gonna be very, very similar. Just instead of saying create event, we're gonna update event with the information that we see on this page. Okay. So let's go ahead and duplicate the create event page. So to duplicate, I right click on it on the create event and I select duplicate. And now I can just change the name to update event. Okay, to update event. And now let's change the text of the app bar to update event. And let's change the text of the, see that I cannot select it. Let's just zoom in a little bit so I can select this button, the last button, and change the text of the button to update event. To update event. Now let's change this action of the update event, because now we have to update, we don't have to create. So let's click on it, go to actions and select the create document action. We're gonna change it to update. So let's look for update event. Update is update document. So update document, and the document that we're gonna update is the reference that this event has access to. So when we click this button, we're gonna navigate. So let's click on this icon and let's set this. we're gonna navigate to the event detail page. Okay, so let's go ahead and set it. So let's set an action for this button. We're gonna navigate to the update event. Okay, so when the user clicks on this button, they're gonna navigate to the update event, and now the update event should also should also expect a parameter, the reference of this document, right? So let's set that. Let's go to the update event. We're doing the same thing that we did before. Okay, we're doing to the update event, and let's gonna create a page parameter. It's gonna be of type event doc ref, because if we don't pass in the reference, we cannot update it. What are we gonna update if we don't have the reference, right? So this page needs to have a reference to the event document. So it's gonna be event doc ref of type document reference collection type events. I'm going to do it fast because you already know how to do this. Events confirm. So we're getting that, and now we have an error here because we are not passing it. Okay, so in the events, when we navigate to the update event, we need to also pass the reference. So the reference that we're passing is the events document reference. Okay, so here in the navigation of this button, we're passing this reference. And now we have an error. It says, for reference for database update action not properly set. Click on it, and yeah, it says here, this error is basically, sometimes when you get an error, you can click on the error and it will take you to where the error is, okay? So if I don't know what this is about, I can just click on it and it takes me to here. So the error has to do something with something in here. And basically what it's saying is that we haven't set this update document. So let's set it. Now we have to update a reference. Now we're getting a reference to this page. I'm going to confirm this reference, and now we're going to add fields. And we're going to just update the name, the address, the day, and the time. So let's update the name from variable. And what are we going to get? We're going to get from the widget state, the text field event name, right? And for the address, what are we going to get from variable? We're going to update the address with whatever it is that the user input in the event address. And the day, we're going to do it from the calendar. So we're going to set the widget state calendar day selected, available option start. And for the time, we're going to do from variable and the date time picked. So from the widget state, date picked, which is going to be the time picked. Okay, so now we have defined the action, and this should work perfectly now. But one nice thing that we could have is that when the user goes to this update event, that the user sees here the actual information of the event in here. So the name of the event here, the event address, and everything. We're getting the reference to this page, but to show the information, we need to query the reference, okay? Just like we did in the event detail, we need to do this in the update event. So we're gonna go to the column, and we're going to query that reference. So add a backend query, and it's gonna be a document from reference, and it's gonna be of type events. It's going to be this event doc ref that we're getting as a parameter. So we query the reference, and now that we query the reference, now we can have the values in here. So for the initial value, we're gonna get it from the events document. Now we have access to this events document name. For the event address, for the initial value of this, we're going to set it to the events document address. Now for this, we have initial date here option in the properties panel. We're gonna set it to the events document, not to the events document, to the events document day, events document day. And this button over here, I cannot select it. Let's zoom in a little bit. This button over here is gonna be equal to the text is gonna be equal. Let's remove this text and let's set it to the events document time. Don't forget to format the time. So with this button, we have a little issue. I'm gonna show you the issue, but later on, okay? But for now, let's select the properties time like this, okay? But don't forget to format the time, okay? So the time, I want the time to be like this, and the default value is gonna be select time. Okay, confirm. Perfect. So now this should be working. We could go ahead and try to test this out. So I'm gonna just click because my session has expired. So I'm gonna just click on the Thunderbolt again, and we have to wait a little bit as always. Okay, so now we can see that because we are the owners of these events, because we have created these events, we can delete them if we want to, and we can edit them. So now here we can see that we go to the update event, we can see that the name of the event here, we can see the address of the event, we can see the actual day that we picked for the event, and we can see the time. And we can change everything and update the event. But the thing with this is that now if I select the time and we select a new time, for example, let's change it to 6 p.m., right? It was 7 p.m., let's change it to 6 p.m. We can see that it doesn't change, it doesn't show. So for this, we have a solution. So let's go back to the project and let's select this one and this button. Let's zoom in a little bit. And for this button, for the text of this button, we're gonna choose something called conditional value. And why do we want a conditional value? So if the user has not picked a time for this, we want to show the time of the event, okay? This is what we're getting here. We're getting the time of the event. If we go back, we can see that the time of the event is 7 p.m. So we're getting the time of the event. But once the user clicks here and selects a time, we want to show the time that the user has selected. So to do this, we need a conditional value. And the condition is going to be whether or not the user has picked a time, okay? So let's go here to the text of this button and let's remove this and let's set it to scroll down until you see conditional value, okay? Let's choose this conditional value, and for the condition, we're gonna select a condition, a single condition, and for the first value, let's set it to the first value is going to be if the widget state date picked. So if the time picked is equal to no, it's set. So that means if the user has picked a time, so if this condition is true, if it is true, the fact that the user picked a time, then we want to show the widget state date picked, and also don't forget to format it. Format it as time picked like this. The default value is going to be select time, confirm. And now if the user has not picked a time, sorry, then the user is going to see the actual time of the event, the time that the event has. So it's going to be the events document time, and don't forget to format it. So the time and available options, date and format options, and we're going to select this one, and it's going to be select time like that for the default variable value, okay? So the default variable is going to be select time, okay? Confirm. And now we can see that we have here a condition. There's a condition here. So the condition is the one that I explained, okay? If the user has not picked a time, then let's go ahead and instant reload this to test this out. The user should see the time if the time of the event if the user has not picked a time. But if once the user picks a time, we should see the time that the user has picked. That is what we call a good user experience, okay? So now we can go in here, we can see the details, we can go and update. And now let's change the time to 10 to 6 maybe, and let's see if it works. And it works, okay? You can see now that the time has updated, and now we can update the event. So I can say house party and maybe here 2, and countryside number 55. I can change the day to 24, change the time to 6, okay, let's change it to, I don't know, to 5:30 p.m. and update the event. And now we go here and we can see that we have changed everything. We have changed the address, the time, and the name. Okay, so this is gonna be it for this course. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm gonna keep adding contents to this course, and see you next time.